Welcome to the Anxiety Coaches Podcast, a relaxing and informative show where we explore anxiety, panic, and PTSD, sharing how you can overcome them for life.
Aloha! Welcome back to the Anxiety Coaches Podcast. I'm your host and coach, Gina Ryan, and I am so happy to be with you again today as together we can consider the many ways to bring your mind and body back to its natural peace and calm. In today's episode, I'm talking about acceptance. It's a kind of a loaded word, but it's an important word to have with you as you are healing, as you are coming out of high stress and anxiety. Acceptance is key. And so today we're talking about acceptance as acknowledgement of what is when your anxiety is rising in particular. So I have a lot of little points here that I want to cover, and then some, 4 things that you can do to help you to accept. But let's look at acceptance first, right? Because we use the word a lot. Like, I do get questions about it. I get people talking about it in a way that I'm like, oh, that's an interesting way to look at acceptance. So I would like to just review some ideas about acceptance. It's really a very practical way to be able to get through what is happening to us. So it's not lofty at all. Acceptance is very practical. One of my favorite quotes that people have, or I guess you could call them a little mantra actually, is people say, I don't care. And I know that goes over in our group, and I have many people in my coaching that like that one. I don't care. You get to a point when your anxiety is rising, the stress is rising, and you just say, I don't care. I just don't care. So try that one on. Really, you don't have to be involved in everything, every feeling, every emotion. So maybe you can just let it go. You don't have to care about it. Clients often have a preconceived notion about what acceptance means, and it's not always right on. We have to have a conversation about it, because sometimes people take acceptance as actually acceptance of your anxiety. This is what we're talking about specifically today, as a way of actually just surrendering to it, giving into it, going totally down the wormhole with it, and that it will always be like this forever. I have to just get that. It's just going to be like this forever. No, that is not what acceptance is. When we are accepting, and especially around our anxiety rising, we are accepting the moment. This is happening. Acceptance is a term that just gets thrown around, and we often don't dig deep into it enough, and we have maybe an old preconceived notion about it. So, hear me out here today and see if this helps you with your ability to be able to accept. Because if I thought acceptance meant that I have to feel like that forever, I wouldn't want to do it either. But that is not what acceptance means. Because if that's what we thought, that acceptance meant this is how it's going to be forever, I'm always going to feel like this, I'm just going belly up. No, if I were to hear about that, and anybody who would, you would just automatically shut down. Why not? That doesn't feel like there is any possibility. So I'd like you to substitute the word allowing or allowance to help with if you have a struggle with the association with the term acceptance. Say, allow. I'm allowing what is happening, because the reality is it's happening. And so you are just being in the flow of life. It doesn't mean it will be like that forever. And you don't need to change how you feel about the anxiety symptoms themselves. You don't have to like them. You don't have to want more of them. But acceptance means that you are not fighting those symptoms and sensations. You are, let's use the substitute word, allowing them. If your heart rate is beating faster or harder, if that's something that really triggers you, You can just allow it rather than fighting it. When we fight, we shut down, we clench down, we send out more stress hormones. So don't fight it, just allow it, just be with it. It's okay. Now, panic attacks and high anxiety does not feel good. And I want to be clear that acceptance doesn't mean that they will feel better. It's just that we mean that we are allowing it to happen. And in the allowing, we are able to not fight. We are able to get out of our sympathetic response, our fight or flight response. And that's the point, is to be able to just get out of the fight or flight response, let the hormones finally slow down and peter out, and then we can be over that panic attack if it was. Of course, it doesn't feel good. And allowing it actually makes the duration of the panic attack shorter because you're not fighting it. The more you fight it, the more you ramp up the shallow breathing and raging hormones of stress, the longer it continues. When we can interrupt that with acceptance, the shorter the panic attack will be. So you would not jump into action if your body didn't feel the discomfort of a panic attack, right? But your acceptance can make the panic event seem uncomfortable instead of dangerous, right? So you feel the discomfort and you don't have to go into danger with that. Acceptance can make the panic feelings or the high anxiety when it's surging and rising, it can make it feel just uncomfortable instead of danger. And if we can just feel uncomfortable instead of that we are in danger, we can avoid going down the wormhole. Again, like I said in the beginning, this doesn't mean it feels better. It just means that we are able to shorten it and come to terms with things being uncomfortable instead of dangerous. It's like we can say, I can sit with it right now, and I believe it's going to be okay, because you've been through them before, and they were always okay afterwards. So remember that. Acceptance is acknowledging the reality of a situation, not what our anxious mind is telling us. When anxiety panic strikes and you react with fear, you are telling your body that it's okay to have more fight or flight response and continue the cycle of fear, anxiety, fear. Accepting anxious thoughts as a response and the horrible cycle of the fear, anxiety, fear can help us to slow that down and to have it end sooner. And we begin to feel comfortable with that, knowing next time, oh, I know what to do. I don't have to have that panic attack go on forever. Because when we're in panic, we think it will last forever. So acceptance is allowing what is happening to happen. And this is when the fear feedback loop stops. It doesn't mean we're giving up. It is letting go of the fight with the anxiety and the fear. What you're doing is getting comfortable with the discomfort. Now, I have some things for you to try, but I want you to hear about today's sponsors before. First, we have Element with us. Element is a tasty electrolyte drink mix with everything that you need and nothing that you don't. It means it has a lot of salt with no sugar. It's formulated to help anyone with their electrolyte needs and is perfectly suited for folks on any kind of a diet, meaning keto or low carb or paleo or whatever. Element contains science-backed electrolyte ratio of 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium. Electrolytes play a critical role in many conditions and functions in our body, including our brain and mental health, curbing cravings, and many, many more. I would love for you to try it. It's delicious. They have so many awesome flavors. I know you're going to love it. Get your free Element drink sample pack. Drink Element is a healthy alternative to the sugary electrolyte drinks. So these grab-and-go stick packs replace essential electrolytes with no sugar, no coloring, artificial ingredients, or any junk. As a member of our community, Element has a very special offer for you. Claim your free Element sample pack. You only cover the cost of shipping. Get yours at drinklmnt.com/ACP. That's drinklmnt.com/ACP. And that link will be in the show notes for you. And we have Ana Luisa with us today. I love Ana Luisa and their beautiful, timeless jewelry. They create sustainably crafted pieces with the conviction that luxury can be enjoyed without excess, all starting at $39. I'm loving the quality of the dainty Haley ring that I wear daily. It's gold with white topaz. It's the perfect sparkle in my day. And the scarlet pearl earrings that are freshwater pearls, and they stand out beautifully. I'm also looking forward to going to Ana Luisa's gift guide and bestsellers page to find some elegant, versatile pieces to send to my daughter as a gift. You can find all that and get 10% off. Go to shop.analuisa.com/anxietycoaches and treat yourself and your loved ones and use my code anxietycoaches to get 10% off. I absolutely recommend them. They're a great brand making beautiful, sustainable jewelry. Again, go to shop.analuisa.com/anxietycoaches. Use checkout code anxietycoaches. The link will be in the show notes for your convenience. Now let's continue on with our acceptance today. I have some ideas here for you to really get practical application in your life of acceptance. The first one I have for you is I want you to ask yourself, when you're having a really anxious thought of worry, right, of what if, is this a thought that would come to me as I was sitting around watching a comedy movie at home? Probably not. Ask yourself, do we trust our thoughts? Do I trust my thoughts? Should we trust every thought that passes through our head? During episodes of anxiety, thoughts can become less trustworthy and they can become self-destructive. I want you to build an awareness of what your thoughts are. Start to ask yourself, in a relaxed situation, is this something you would think? Like I said, if you were sitting at home watching a comedy, would you have that thought? Probably not. Do you think such negative thoughts during the rest of the day or only during this anxiety and high stress time? Now, this is a really good one for you because I know that many people report to me they're going through their whole day doing their usual things. They are not having these thoughts. It's only a particular time when the mind begins to wander off into the what ifs. And so ask yourself, do I trust my thoughts? And when I'm getting really high anxiety and high stress, I'm thinking all kinds of wacky things. And believe me, everyone, I have the privy of hearing people's stressful, anxious thoughts. Yours are not any more wild than anybody else's. Believe me, the mind can go to the strangest places. Just know that your thoughts are not who you are, and just because you have a thought, it doesn't make it true. The second one I have is to take anxiety along with you. Make anxiety come with you as your buddy, or as like your charge. You're taking care of this little anxious thing, and it has to come along with you. Take anxiety with you throughout the day. Let it be with you. The anxiety will hang out with you even at home, so you might as well take it with you when you're out in the world. Allow the anxiety to be there. Don't push it away. Stop fighting it. Allow the anxiety to just dissipate. The less attention we give it, although we acknowledge it, but we're not feeding it lots of attention, it will begin to dissipate. Give it a try as a practice. Take baby steps. Go to an outdoor restaurant. Take anxiety with you. Go to a friend's house. Take anxiety with you. You don't have to go to your worst fear immediately. If you have a big fear of a particular place or gathering, you don't have to try it and take it along with you to that one first. Take a couple baby steps, like I said, and go to a friend's house with anxiety tagging along. The third one is a mindfulness practice like meditation is super helpful. There's a reason I talk about it all the time. Trust me. Trust the articles that I talk about here on the show. Mindfulness meditation will help you to cultivate awareness and provide you with insight into your anxiety and cultivate the ability to employ acceptance techniques. But you need to get quiet and mindful, and we do that in meditation. This helps us so that we can have the ability to do the acceptance techniques. Help break the cyclical thinking that includes anxiety, fear, panic cycle. Being in meditation, in a mindfulness meditation practice, can really help you to break that cycle. Allowance and acceptance stimulate the opposing force to the fight or flight response. It becomes more natural to incorporate this over time with practice, but it is the opposing force to the anxiety and panic. So I want you to do that more and more. If you don't have a daily meditation practice, this is your heads up to get it started. And the fourth and final one that I have for you is to have a mantra of acceptance. Remember, I said earlier, some clients and group members use the term, I don't care. I don't care. Like when a particular what if thought goes through, it's like, I don't care. That is a mantra of acceptance, okay? The mind associates songs and music with past events in our lives, right? The same with a mantra. And you will yoke the mantra with acceptance and allowance. And that will help you to deploy the acceptance and allowance technique by reciting a mantra. Also, to get to your most relaxed place in your day, meditation, get there, and then recite the mantra. And you will associate the mantra with the most deep moment of relaxation you experience in your day. And it will help to calm you during the high anxiety moments when you remember your mantra and recite it. So we practice it when we are in our most relaxed and deep mindful moment, which should be in your meditation probably. And we practice it there. We bring the mantra up and say it over and over. And then when we are out in the world or in our day or having a struggle at home and our anxiety begins to rise, we can bring that mantra up. And because we have yoked the relaxed feeling with the mantra, when you recite the mantra, you will eventually be able to also feel that relaxed feeling. It takes practice. Again, it doesn't happen the first week you do it. You have to do this well over time, but I promise you, it makes a huge difference. I hope you will try that out, and I'd love to hear what your mantras are. I am safe, be well, all is well, peace. Some people use a short prayer, whatever. I would love, if you wanted to share yours, I would love for you to do that. You could send it to me at anxietycoachespodcast@gmail.com. That's it for today's episode. And before I read today's quote, I want to remind you that if you want more than what's offered here and more personal guidance, you might be ready for our group coaching membership program. It's a deeper dive into what you learn here on these episodes. Each month, you'll receive 2 anxiety clearing skill sheets sent in email. You'll also receive 2 live group coaching calls, which are recorded in case you can't attend. Those will help guide you through your challenges. And there's also a secret Facebook group for coach and community support every day, all month long. So if you're ready for more, go to anxietycoachespodcast.com/group-coaching and join today. I'd love to see you in the group. And now for today's quote. The moment that judgment stops through acceptance of what is, you are free of the mind. You have made room for love, for joy, for peace. And that's from Eckhart Tolle. I'll be back in a few more days with another podcast. Until then, be well and aloha.
Thanks so much for joining us for today's episode of the Anxiety Coaches Podcast. Find more information at theanxietycoachespodcast.com.